Well, here's a little update on the Javelin. We got this our AMX grill here, and it was broke pretty bad. So I got this glue, JB Weld plastic bonder. Sets up in 15, supposed to sand it in 30. I started working on this yesterday and let it set all night, and it's looked like it glued pretty good. See, all of these were broken here. You see them there. So it looks like it's holding pretty good. It's broken on the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna mix up a little more and glue it and clamp it. Yeah. Looks like it kind of stuck pretty good most places. Probably should have cleaned it a little better. I think I'll hit some of this with sandpaper. But looks like where I glued it well, it's doing fine. Some of this other stuff got a white bubbly looking part to it. But it looks like it's strong enough. Well, I'm gonna clean it up and continue gluing on this. It looks like it's gonna work alright. Can use a little Dremel or something and clean it up a bit. But so it looks like that's a solution to this, and these things were like $300 or something like that, and I figured I'd try to glue it before I go wasting money on it, and I'll try to paint it up and see what we got it looking like when I get it glued back together. Well, it looks like I made a mistake here. This is the good side, and you can see that it's sticking out about 1/4 of an inch, and I glued this one in flush. So I'm gonna have to break these 3 right here and glue it back again. And I've also got a missing piece there, but this one is the way it should be. So I'm gonna have to try to, this was all crushed, and there's a screw that goes into here, so this has got to be pretty strong. I'm going to take a little Dremel tool and see if I can't cut my little glue spaces, and I'm going to try to make this whole thing solid. I think I'll probably fill those holes right there completely with glue. And I've still got this one. I've got to make some stuff here, so I think maybe I'll try to glue these together and clamp them here to give it some strength before I start going twisting on this one piece. So that's what I'll do. Clean them up good and glue them. This stuff takes an hour, so at the worst I'll have to wait an hour to get it right again. Alright, I got this cut loose with a Dremel, and it looks like it kind of popped to where it wants to go, or where it should have been, you know. I can get this this edge here glued back together. May take a little doing, but I think I can get it pretty good here. have to get a little inventive with the clamps, and might have a little mess up little gaps there where it was bent, but this is all kind of soft at this point, so I should be able to get this area glued back together right. And this top part here will hold it. It's kind of hard to find clamps. The only thing I could find was these battery clamps that are small enough to go in there. Vice grips and stuff are just way too big to try to do anything with. So I'm kind of running out of clamps. Anyway, I'll see if I can glue this back together and see what we get. Well, these two little guys here were broke out completely, so I found some piece of black plastic. It was actually a cover for a little air compressor, and cut out a couple pieces and put them in there. They look like they're bigger than they should be, but anyway, they're pretty strong, and we'll glue those in, and that should give me pretty much a solid bottom. I've got this top piece here. It's actually it's a bottom. I'm not sure what's happening with it. It's all kind of cracked up and broken. It looks like it's been hit pretty hard and pushed back. So I'm going to have to try to figure out what's going on with that. Looks like it might have had another piece right here that was broken out. But the other one's kind of round. So I got a rough idea what it's supposed to be like. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It's pretty crooked, and when I force it, it looks like it got a lot of pressure on it here. I was kind of hoping that gluing all this stuff in straight would take tension off. Anyway, I'll let these harden up good, and maybe I'll use a heat gun or something and kind of get this to be a little softer, and maybe brace it the way it's supposed to go, and then try to build this thing up. I don't know how far it is from here to here, but I have a feeling this was squashed down, because this one here looks pretty straight, and that one looks, to me, curved in a little. So I'll figure out how big that is and put a piece of wood in it to make it the right distance, and then try to form this corner here the way it's supposed to go. Well, I started working on this. What I did was clamp some good wood pieces on here to straighten it out, and got a little flex in it. Looks like this is bent up quite a bit. It was probably forced into the bumper, and the other one down there is kind of straight. So what I need to do is pull this down. I'm going to try to clamp a couple more straight pieces here on the bottom, and then I can maybe force this corner into where it's supposed to go. At least get it pretty close, and then I can glue it. I don't know how much of the bumper covers this up, but this is about the best I can do for now. And these other glue parts look like they're holding good. Just have to clean them up a little bit. Then I have to try to worry about how am I going to paint it. Looks like some kind of silver. Black trim. I'll do the best I can. Meanwhile, try to get it straight. That's the important thing. Now this is a mess, but got a couple parallel bars clamped in here. It looks like I can clamp this with a vice grips, and I can also pull this up and clamp it with the vice grips. And looks like it's pretty close. So what I can do is just fill it all up with glue now and clamp it. Try to get it as close as I can. Let the glue harden, and I should be able to get some sort of a solution in this corner. Hopefully the bumper is going to cover up some of it anyway, but looks pretty strong. I'll glue it good on this one side, and I'll try to get the back before I unclamp anything and just let it dry really good. Well, that's about as good as I could get it. It's clamped pretty solid right there. I've got the try to get as much twist in it by this piece of tape as I could. Put a little more on there and get a little more twist in it, but it's pretty solid. I'm gonna just let that go and let it dry, and then try to glue it from the back too, because it's got to be pretty strong. It's got a lot of pressure on it there, particularly right there in the corner where those vice grips are. Hopefully there's enough glue in there to hold it pretty solid, and it's straight right across here. Might want to curve up a little bit, but we'll see. That's about as good as I can get it. Just try to do what we can and move on. Here's kind of the end. I took the clamps off and flipped this around. I left this one on. Filled up the back of it good with this plastic. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hold good. All of these look good and solid. Feel good. And after trying to get that one loose that was on there all night, cut these. I had to cut them with a Dremel, and they were pretty solid, so I think that's probably enough glue to hold that. I'll put a little more on right where those pliers are when I unbolt it, but this looks pretty flat now. Kind of matches that end. I'm not going to try to paint anything at the moment. I am going to see if I can figure out what's going on with these clips. That one's good. This one's missing one altogether. I'll see what happens when I try to put it in. I'm just going to have to take it out again to paint it, so if I can just get it in there pretty solid. I'll just let this dry now and finish it up and put it back in the car. Well, I started putting it back in. Got my braces here to hold it. You have to take the bumper off to get it in. The bumper goes up over it. I just loosened it up and dropped it down. But it looks like I got about 1.5 inches here and maybe 1 inch here, so I've made an improvement in it. exactly the same length, the valence. I've been measuring on the fenders and trying to find out what's wrong. This thing here is not right, obviously. It'll pull that back in an 8. And then it had some, I still got one more crack here right in the middle, but there's a bolt under there that holds the valence to this brace. It goes right there, and I think that brace is probably not right. But anyway, I think I got it close enough here to get the bumper back on it. And I'm looking at the bumper, it looks like it's might be bent in a little right there. This one looks kind of straight and that one looks kind of bent. Anyway, so I need to work on that bumper. I know for sure it's got some dents down in the bottom. But for now, I'm just trying to get stuff up in there and get this old broken grill at least kind of fixed. It seemed like every time I touch it I was breaking something else. Looks like I got a couple of broken ones there I didn't get. Well, I can glue those with the glue now that it's back in. It's not that big a deal. The main thing was getting this broke corner here all fixed up.